Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this presentation of the National Squash League. We are here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, at the beautiful K2 Squash Center, and we have a fantastic night of squash on tap for you, featuring the All-Stars of the National Squash League against the Legends of Squash. Let's welcome our players onto court. First, for the National Squash League All-Stars. He is currently ranked 71st in the world. He has won 3 PSA titles. He is one of the founders of the National Squash League. Please welcome to the court from the United States, Spencer Lovejoy. Next up for the All-Stars, he is the breakout star from the National Squash League, an All-American at Drexel University, and a YouTube trick shot phenom. Please welcome Matthias Knudsen. Last up for the All-Stars, he is the 2024 Individual Collegiate Champion, an All-American from Cornell University, representing Derby City, Ver Totrani. And now let's welcome your Legends of Squash. First up, one of the greatest players in the history of our game. He has won 35 PSA titles and is a #1 player in the world. From England, please welcome the Wolf, Nick Matthews. Our next player is also a former #1 player in the world. He is currently the head coach at Drexel University. From Australia, please welcome the great white shark, John White. Next up for the Legends, he is best known for hitting a squash ball 177 miles an hour. He won 13 PSA titles and was ranked as high as 11th in the world. A warm Philadelphia welcome for Australians, Cameron Pilley. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a special treat here tonight. I'd like to welcome onto the court to get this match started, widely recognized as the greatest player in the history of our game. Please welcome Jahangir Khan. Jahangir is going to hit the ceremonial first ball and get this kicked off tonight.
You got it, absolutely. I saw it. Yeah, somebody kicked it. I know, I got to get over it. Because right now they are in the call. And we're trying to figure out what we're at. So it's funny, yeah, I have to
Comma.
Because really, yeah, so you got, yeah, keep your,
And hitting the ceremonial first ball for this evening's play, Jahangir Khan. All right, let's get this match started. Ladies and gentlemen, first on court for the Legends, we have Nick Mountain. And for the NSL All-Stars, Bear Chotrani. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you unfamiliar with the rules of the National Squash League, the Squash Legends, because of their advanced age, will get unlimited substitutions during this first period, while the NSL All-Stars will be allowed 2 substitutions. The first period is played for 20 minutes with a running score. The team that ends up with the most points at the end of the period garners 1 point. The second period, the same rules apply. The third period is 30 minutes long, with the winner getting 2 points. If we are tied at the end of 3 periods, there will be the NSL shootout. Ladies and gentlemen, Jericho trying to serve. The score is level.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Comic-Con's K2 Squash, the home to the first ever NSL Legends match. Stars are out tonight in Berwyn, PA. Nick Matthew, John White, Cameron Pilley taking on the Young Guns. Spencer White, Veer Chotrani, Matthias Knudsen. Jahangir Khan is in the house. And folks, we're playing by NSL rules tonight. Hello, everyone. My name is Jackson Bragman. Some technical difficulties here at the top of our broadcast. My lovely co-commentator, the cheeky Sean Choi, is hopefully going to be joining us in the immediate future. But for now, I am flying solo here as we are underway here in Berwyn for the first ever NSL Legends exhibition match, kicking things off with the Wolf, Nick Matthew, and with the Squash Encyclopedia, as he is known, Veer Chotrani. Early in this first period, if you're just joining us for the first time here in the National Squash League, welcome. We're happy to have you, and hopefully this is your first. Veer Chotrani here duking it out with the Wolf, Nick Matthew. And this is really a tale of two very different players, obviously. Veer from Mumbai, India, the young up-and-comer, the youngest player in this matchup, the youngest player to be on 22 years old, fresh out of Cornell University. Our first substitute here in the NSL, returning viewers will know that each team in a normal NSL match is allotted 2 substitutions per period. However, the Legends in this matchup have unlimited substitutions at their disposal. They're going to take full advantage of all of that. Veer, recent graduate of Cornell University, where he won the CSA Individual National Championships this year, capped off an undefeated senior season, arguably one of the best men's collegiate squash seasons of all time. And here he is against the head coach of another prominent college squash program, John White, the head coach of the Drexel University Dragons, first head coach at illustrious program's history. That led the Drexel men to as high as a number 5 finish in the country. There's a little topspin flick from Whitey on the forehand, one of the hardest hitters in the history of professional squash, as high as number 5 finish in the nation in 2023. And the Drexel ladies have finished as high as in the country, as there is a beautiful line from a man who has perhaps the greatest weight of shot in the history of professional squash, has an uncanny ability to have that ball die in the back corners. No one hits a ball like John White. And here he is, showing that he's still got it at 51 years old. The oldest player in this match versus the youngest. A 29-year age discrepancy here. Pretty well both. And John White, there's beautiful touch in the front right corner. Veer with a cheeky smile as he walks back to return serve here on the backhand side. John White, never an individual known for his fitness on the PSA World Tour, but hits one of the best balls that you'll find. And not much has changed. Whitey not particularly fit. in this day and age, into his 50s now. I did hear from great source, my boss Spencer Lovejoy, who's partaking in this match, that Whitey has shaved off about 20 pounds, though, in the last few months. He's switched from beers to seltzers. Whitey's definitely known to throw a few back here and there, so cutting down on the calories, though. Switching to seltzers. I'd love to know if he's going for the Bud Lights or the White Claws, but regardless, it's working for the Great White, who's just put in a great shift against Chotrani. There's Wild Bill Buckingham, the master of ceremonies for this matchup tonight. Trying to look smart with his glasses. Normally not one for the specs, but here he is down. Cross court there. And there's our first controversial reffing decision of the day. Whitey, not please. We'll leave the listeners at home to their devices. And another winner from the Rockets. Starting to heat up here. I think the popcorn's going to come out when we see John go up against his former mentee, Matthias Knudsen, who we see applauding on the bench. Matthias yet to check in here, but he did play under John White for 5 years at Drexel before joining the PSA World Tour and the NSL last season. And here comes Cam Pilley. If there's anyone in the history of pro squash that is a harder hitter than John White, Cameron Pilley would be that individual. 41 years old. He's the youngest member of this Legends team, filling in for David Palmer, who was having back spasms earlier in the week. And that's an outrageous forehand winner slam from Mr. Lovejoy, something that we're not always accustomed to seeing from him. An attritional player will wear you down, but showing some attacking prowess early here is Spence, jockeying now with Pilley, who broke the record of one John White for the hardest hit ball in professional squash history. He holds the record with 175 miles per hour, breaking the previous record of 172. Have to get the radar gun out here tonight. Spencer really slowing things down from what we were seeing with Veer earlier. It's to be expected. Look at those legs. Bulging quads. And he is going to look to wear down his opposition here. Those many hours in the gym paying off. Nick Matthew and Spencer do have a bit of a banter on social media where Nick is often critical of Spencer posting too many clips of himself in the gym and not enough clips of him on the squash court. And Spencer then began doing much of the same, critiquing Nick's lack of work in the gym, Nick's dainty quads, and it's been a fun little piece of trash talk to follow over the last month. But yeah, Spencer, incredibly explosive off the tee, and there's an error from the Australian. Spencer, the U.S. number 5, the world number 71, back in control here. The young
And out, 9-12. Down. And out, 13-9.
Technical difficulties here. We're thrilled to bring you NSL rules action here from K2 Squash.
And out, 10-14. And up.
Yeah.
15-10. Up. 11-15. Thank you. And out, 16-11. Go to the legend. 12-15.
We start a power play at 5:24 left. That means for the next 2 minutes, only the Legends can score. The NSL All-Stars can only defend.
And here we have our first power play of the evening. For the first 2 periods, little handicap action, only the Legends able to call power play, giving a leg up to the old guys. And here is Matthew on the power play, always an incredibly attritional player throughout his career, but you don't get to world number 1 for a combined 19 months without an uncanny ability to put the ball away. And he's going up against Matthias Knudsen, who's an incredible attacking player in his own right, but sometimes does struggle to defend the power play. And there's one for Team Legends. Still 3 points back, but plenty of time to crawl back into this first period. First period they're really going to want, because that third period is certainly going to favor the Young Guns more than the first 2. Definitely a chance that my co-commentator Sean Choi, who was fiending for this all season, could be treated to our first shootout in NSL history here today. And there it is again. Matthew not looking for anything crazy, but who is better at putting together sequences and
14-16.
weaving that web. Moving his opponents corner to corner, then the wolf. There's a little stare down. Matthias with a cheeky smile, and Matthew hustling back to the right service box. When you're on power play, you serve every rally, win or lose. Ooh, that'll be close. Yes, let given. Oh, Matthias was pretty clear there. There's the three-wall boast, and Matthias with a great drop shot. Outstanding touch there. That's a nice little defense from the spin bender Matthias Knudsen, the Bogota native. But the Legends are within one now. Drama here coming down the stretch. Remember, the Legends do get unlimited subs, so we'll see if they utilize another substitution here. Matthias is, however, going to close things out for the Young Guns. Young Guns already using up their allotted 2 subs, with Veer kicking things off, and then Spencer putting in a big shift as the middleman. And there's a little topspin backhand from Matthias. Classic Matthias Knudsen. Bringing out all the stops here tonight. This is an exhibition, but these guys are all competitive as can be. Talked to Matthias last night. He said he wants to have fun. He wants to put on a show, but most importantly, he wants to win this thing. He wants to back up all of the trash talk over the last month. And we have some drama coming down the stretch of period number 1. Beautiful touch. That drop shot fading away.
Substitution for the Legends.
Top of the mound. Right into that side wall. That's such a smart shot, and that's the type of nuance that you get with a former world number 1, where that shot isn't hit straight into the corner, but it's recognizes that Matthias is to the right of him. Matthew takes up all his space, and that ball just perfectly fades into the corner. Such quality from the 3-time Commonwealth gold medalist. And now here's John White to close things off. For the first time, we have the master and the apprentice, John White. Matthias has coached for 5 years at Drexel University, where Matthias had an incredibly successful collegiate career. A Skillman Award finalist his senior season, one of the best players in the country. And there is a dying length to the back forehand corner with under 90 seconds to go against his former coach. And Whitey getting greedy, going for the nick there on the backhand return. The lead now out to 2. Oh, wow, that's a pretty boast, carrying all the way to the back. And the onslaught does not stop. Knudsen's heating up. These two are having a chuckle.
1 minute left in the period. 1 minute. We have a substitution. Cameron Pilley.
And another sub, and Whitey's not going to be happy with himself there. Here comes the youngest member of Team Legends, Cameron Pilley, for the final 61 seconds of period number 1. He's got to go quick, though. The clock very much a factor here. Matthias has got to do something that is not necessarily his strong suit. He's got to play defense, and he's got to extend these rallies as much as he can. And that's honest from Pilley. Giving up the ghost on the double bounce. Giving up the call, rather, I should say. And that should just about do it here for the Young Guns. This lead ballooning out to 4. And Knudsen putting the finishing touches on what appears to be a very impressive first period.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is the end of the first period.
That'll do it.
For the Young Guns, 22-17, the Young Guns lead 1.
The Colombian closes things out for the Young Guns. An impressive performance for Knudsen, one of the best players in the NSL last season. And he's got the Young Guns up 1 period to love. Here's Wild Bill Buckingham ushering to the front of the glass court here at K2 Squash. The GOAT of all GOATs, Mr. 555. It is Jahangir Khan. Let's throw it down to Wild Bill.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have the greatest player of all time here at the K2 Squash Center, Jahangir Khan. Jahangir, thoughts on your first NSL match?
Well, actually, it's wonderful to see the Legends stay at home with young guys here, and of course, it's not anymore easy for people for the Legends to like this in the past 10 years ago, and getting on the court playing again. But it's always wonderful to see them again playing. And at the same time, I want to take the opportunity. It's a privilege and honor for me to be here again, especially for this K2 Squash club opening. And I can say that it's a wonderful academy, wonderful facility with it's a wonderful opportunities for the youngsters here to avail from this club. Especially Kama is my family member. He's my first cousin as well. So it's lovely to see somebody from the family is doing something good for the squash here. So my best wishes with everyone here, and I'm sure a lot of youngsters will take the opportunity from this facility. Thank you very much.
You're looking very match fit yourself. Next year, NSL Legends, see Jahangir Khan here on court.
Yeah, well, it's not easy actually, because when you are already crossed the age of 60, and getting on the court like this, I think it won't be easier for me, but I don't mind going on the court for a few minutes, you know, like maybe for 2 minutes or 1 minute like that.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, just a huge round of applause for the GOAT of our sport, Jahangir Khan. All right, let's get the players back on court. For the young guns, we have
best to ever do it. Sitting courtside, Jahangir
NSL champion New
Khan.
York Knights, Matthias Knudsen, and the Wolf.
Alongside John Sure kickstarting that Khan dynasty. Pakistani dominance in our sport. Pakistani squash having a bit of a resurgence in recent years. Top 20 player has been eluding them, however, for the past couple decades here. And here we are back on court to kick things off. Period number 2. He's warm, he's hot. It'll be Matthias Knudsen right back into things here, kicking things off for the Young Guns, and it will be not the GOAT, but certainly one of the 10 greatest players ever play this game is Nick Matthew, partaking in his first ever NSL rules match. A format that perhaps drew a little bit of inspiration from the RAM scoring system that he and Rami Ashur implemented at the Tournament of Champions a few years back. Shout out to the RAM scoring system. It was a one and done, but the NSL similarly utilizes a clock system, and just like in the RAM scoring format, there is no target score. It's just all coming down to time. A new take on squash. Fast and furious pace. That's what you will get accustomed to in the NSL. As Matthew now duking it out with Knudsen, a stud, as we mentioned, at Drexel University, now full-time on the Pro Tour. And Knudsen, so talented, currently sitting in a ranking of 113, but that's not fully accurate. He got up to 92 at the end of last season. He's dropped a bit. He really hasn't had a clean bill of health, as that's a gorgeous line from Matthew, pulling a trick out of his former coach John White's playbook, dying into the back forehand corner. That's a powerful backhand, or excuse me, powerful forehand with great weight of shot. And after a long first rally, perhaps the lungs on fire for Matthew, who was uber fit throughout his whole career, but now 44. We'll see if he can hang here, giving up a quick stroke in that second rally. But Knudsen, so talented, and really hasn't had a clean bill of health for a full season since he was an underclassman in college. It's been a struggle health-wise for Knudsen, but he's so talented. He's one of the best attacking players on PSA World Tour. And he's a real student of the game. Really loves squash, more so than almost anyone you could talk to. Was initially committed to go to Trinity College to play college squash, and that ended up falling through as Matthew will get the stroke there. Wasn't a great shot from Knudsen. Wasn't completely in the middle, but Matthew pounced all over that, as he's done throughout his whole career. A great volleyer, perhaps the best volleyer of all time, Nick Matthew. Always on his toes. And that's a squeeze and a half from the Wolf. And Knudsen ends up not going to play for Paul Asiante at Trinity and getting recruited by John White at the Canadian Junior Open, an event which he unexpectedly won.
3-2.
That's a great ball from Matthew. Event which he unexpectedly won. And there's the little flick and the hold, sending Matthew the wrong way. So deceptive can Knudsen be when he implements that little top spin. And and that ball's practically bouncing on the tee line. Right in the middle of the court. Yes, like given though. And Knudsen remembers being in awe of John White recruiting him. And there's another piece of misdirection. And off comes Matthew. And here comes the man we're talking about right now, John White, who talked to Matthias at the Canadian Junior Open. Matthias remembers being starstruck, a total student of the game, someone that appreciates the history of this game and watches more squash than anyone. And he couldn't believe that people weren't going up and asking Whitey for pictures. He couldn't believe that no one knew who this guy was. It's just some coach just kind of here scouting. No one knew who John White was at the Canadian Junior Open, and Matthias couldn't believe that. And told me yesterday when I was talking to him that it's just feels weird being on the same poster as Nick Matthew and John White for the poster promoting this match. It's an honor and a privilege for him to be here, and he's making the most of this opportunity, and he's looking good doing it.
An early power play.
Oh, and here comes a power play. This is going to be fun. Here's the great White, the Rocket, one of the hardest hitters in the history of professional squash, up against his former disciple. And Matthias pointing at the front left corner, but Whitey probably saw that. Serve, make sure that Matthias had no chance to shoot on that serve return. Whitey just hanging back. It's not a bad strategy to sometimes give up these rallies. See, that is smart from Matthias, and that's smart from Whitey. Whitey not in an attacking position. He's going to reset and start the next rally. Matthias could have taken a stroke there, but instead recognizes he can't win the point. He's going to just extend the rally. So that is smart from both parties. Chess match going on here, and Whitey's going to get the better of that exchange. Matthias has been a bit of a nomad this summer, traversing all over the world, training in Philadelphia with John a little bit and training with Timmy and Spencer at the Arlen Specter Center, training in his hometown of Bogota, Colombia with Ramos Palomino, Pepe Herrera, Miguel Rodriguez, of course. Spent a week in Egypt as well. He's been all over the place, working on his game. He's had a big-time summer. Yesterday came back to Philly ahead of this match and had a very competitive cross-court game with John White. The Colombians love their cross-court games. And for the first time in years, Matthias said Whitey beat him. Straight games. And here he is making up for that, defending well on this power play. And there's a 10
Substitution for both
from the great White. And we've got a double sub here. Veer checking on. It's a nice piece of defense from Matthias against another great attacking player. And here's Cameron Pilley, retired from professional squash 5 years ago. Still young, only 41 years old. Active on the SDA tour, playing a lot of doubles these days. So don't think for a second that Cam Pilley, another showman, another incredibly hard hitter of the ball, is by any means out of shape. He's in shape and ready to go. Got the call a couple days ago from the NSL to fill in for David Palmer, Veer Chatrani's college coach of 5 years, who was initially supposed to partake in this match, of course. Palmer, former world champion. He's 4-time British Open champion, former world number 1, and having some back spasms, wasn't able to partake in this matchup, and Pilley stepping right in last minute. And here he is playing some great squash here to kick things off today. Is the Aussie. And that's outrageous from Veer. A leaping cross-court nick off the volley. Signature and stylish from Veer. There's the 3-wall boast, and Veer surely thought he had him. He thought Pilley was maybe going to dig that up, straight drop, and Pilley sending him the wrong way with that cross hold. Order a taxi for Mr. Chotrani. Anything you can do, I can do better, says Veer. There's a hard hit ball on the forehand cross right above the Tim. And Veer with a little leg lift, cheeky, on that drop shot that cracked out into the middle of the court. Not sure if I'm to call that a drop shot or a boast, but it worked. The winner, Young Guns draw even as Matthew checks on now. Matthew loves to use that height on the front wall. It's a rare error on that cross lob. Almost never hits those out, but is a huge proponent of volleying as much as he can. That doesn't mean that when he plays up tempo in that way that he's looking to blast the ball as hard as he can either. It's a combination of height and accuracy combined with the up-tempo pace from volleying, jumping into the front court early.
Substitute for the Legends, John White.
And here's Whitey right back on.
Left box, left box.
Veer Chotrani, nicknamed the Squash Encyclopedia by his fellow Indian. There's a bit of chicanery from John White. Veer not fooled this time. He learned his lesson from Pilley a few minutes ago. But Saurav Ghosal, probably the greatest Indian squash player of all time, one of the greatest Asian squash players of all time. And a massive fist pump off the stroke from Whitey, and there he is with his hand on his hip. Like an 80-year-old lady looking to be helped across the street. Lungs going here for the Great White. Oh, and he's going to look for the let there. But he's played the man and not the ball. And here we go. Bit of chit-chat here. Veer is a bit of a Terminator. I remember watching him at the CSA individual finals back in March against Mohamed Sharaf, and there's another brilliant forehand volley drop. And Veer shows very little emotion on court. He is so steady. Off the court, one of the funniest guys you can talk to couldn't be cooler. I've been lucky enough to interview him on a few occasions. Squash University podcast, check it out. But one of the coolest guys you can talk to, but is a stone cold killer when he steps out there on the court, unfazed by anything. At such a young age to play such a mature game and to be mentally so strong is rare to come by. We are currently ranked 106 in the world, but don't let that deceive you. As we mentioned, he's just fresh out of college, and do expect him to be a mainstay in the Platinum events by the end of next season. By the end of this season or the start of next year, I think Veer is going to see a meteoric climb up the rankings this year, and Matthias going to join Whitey over there on the Legends bench. Not sure if that's allowed, but for the purposes of today, we'll say it is. And a nice piece of hitting from Cameron Pilley on the volley. Redirecting the pace from Veer cross court.
Substitution. Nick Matthew replaces
And Nick Matthew coming back on for the Aussie. But to conclude from earlier, Veer deemed the squash encyclopedia by his fellow Indian player, Saurav Ghosal, who was always a great mentor to him. Saurav obviously retiring earlier this year. Former top 10 player in the world. The only one ever from India. And Saurav deemed Veer the squash encyclopedia when Veer was a young, up-and-coming junior, because Veer could recall with great accuracy the results from any tournament, any match, and oftentimes even getting the score lines correct. Much like Matthias Knudsen, very much a fan of professional squash and a student of the game. And quite honestly, two of the coolest guys. Be around two of my favorite interviews, as here's a little cheeky behind the back from Veer. This is shaping up to be a mega rally potentially, as we're back to jockeying for position now. That's so tight on the drop from Veer, and Matthew's read him like a book. He's all over that. And that's going to be a Matthew perhaps feels that Veer was crossing a bit early. Veer trapped over there on that right-hand side wall. But the let given, and here comes Lovejoy. Spencer, as we mentioned, feels that Nick may not have the quad strength to hang with him here. Let's see how that shakes out. These two definitely the anchors for their respective teams. Spencer, the final sub for the Young Guns. Young Guns out of subs now with just under 7.5 minutes to go, as that is beautiful width from Matthew, and a little stare down from the Wolf. Here we go, folks. Just gonna get chippy here. It's time for Spencer to put up or shut up here. Spending a lot of time in the gym. We know for sure he's been spending a lot of time on the dating apps, perhaps more than anything. But has he been putting in the work on court? We're going to find out right now. It's a nice little kill from Matthew. Once again, a lot of clever squash from the Wolf, understanding where his opponent is, putting together sequences. That shot that won the last point would not be a great shot, you know, in the middle of a rally, at the beginning of a rally, but given the circumstance, given where his opponent is, and given the timing of when he's hitting it, he just knows exactly where to put it to stretch his opponents out as far as possible. Such a smart player. And Matthew's running away with this thing now. Spencer's got to wake up here, and he's set the wrong way again, and Matthew lets him know without saying a word. It's a big-time fist pump. Fist pimp, as Joey Barrington would say. From the Wolf. Spencer's got to find a better counter drop than that if he wants to be the 3-time world champion. And there's another gorgeous triple boast into the front. Spencer Lovejoy is reeling here in this Young Guns versus Legends exhibition match. The Young Guns taking period number 1. Legends looking to draw even here. They look in good shape to do so, with a power play still at their disposal in this period, and with unlimited substitutions here in this second.
Substitution. Let's hear it for the Wolf. Nick Matthews.
And off comes Matthew, and here comes Whitey.
Left ball.
John White, one of the great exhibition players
39 left ball.
our sport has to offer. A great entertainer. Definitely a character, to say the least, by all accounts. That's pretty from Spencer. Looking to get back into the swing of things here. Lovejoy, the number 8 overall pick in the 2024 NSL draft in March. Put together a nice season for the Newport Dragons. Oh, and that is pretty from the U.S. number 5, Lovejoy, feathering that ball into the front left corner. And Whitey's been stunned. 3 points on, 3 points off, 3 points lost. Spencer getting back into the swing of things here. Another great backhand drop. Pilley digs that one back, though, and he feels Pilley up on his heels, makes the error in the front right corner, and the Aussie in control now. Cam Pilley trained under the legendary Rodney Martin as a player. Reached as high as a world number 11 ranking, widely considered the greatest professional squash player to never reach the world top 10.
Yes, sir.
And the let given, and Spencer looking back with a smile.
12-20.
Pilley making the World Series Finals tournament in 2016, qualified, got the last spot as the number 8 seed and made it all the way to the finals of that event, losing to Gregory Gaultier, finishing as runner-up, one of the highlights of his career. 3-time Commonwealth Games gold medalist in doubles. Twice in mixed doubles with Casey Brown and Donna Lobbin, the wife of Greg Lobbin. And then one in men's singles with his fellow Aussie David Palmer. And he's replacing in this match here today. An illustrious career for Pilley, as that's a really nice backhand cross drop from Spencer, but it might be too little too late. The man known as the Tranquilizer here in the National Squash League. He didn't need to play that ball, but he has anyways. It's a perfect dying cross in the back left corner, and here comes Matthew, who's just going to look to extend some of these rallies for the next 139 seconds. This is perfect strategy from Matthew. It's not just lofting balls for Spencer to take on the volley here. He's hitting the ball with some pace, and it's around the service line. He's not just lobbing everything. He's not feeding anything to Spencer on a silver platter, but he's looking to extend these rallies with quality length. And he's got Spencer in the blender right now. Spencer's looked really good today, but he's just had his number. But there's an error from the Wolf, perhaps opening the door just a crack. Yes, Matthew with a cheeky smile. Fishing for a stroke there as that ball did crack into the middle. Pretty standard yes to that decision. Matthew, undoubtedly the greatest English squash player of all time, a 10-time national champion. There's a dig in the backhand corner, and Spencer has been nice when he's had time to set up for those drop shots in the front right hand and the back left hand corner, or excuse me, in the front left hand corner. He has been fantastic feathering those balls in. It's been on the volley that he's had a little bit more trouble going short here today. But off the bounce, he's been great into the forecourt, and
23-17.
Strings can't find the ball on that behind the back attempt there. Matthew looking to put an exclamation point here
9, 8,
on period number 2
6, 5, 4,
as the Legends draw even.
1. And that is
We are
the
tied
end
up
of the period.
at 1 point apiece.
The Legends 23, the Young Guns 18.
All to play for in period number 3. The Young Guns, the Legends, here at K2 Squash. Great effort there by Matthew in that second period. Always known as one of the more fit players in PSA history. Showing that he can still hang with the young guys here this evening. Let's throw it down to Wild Bill Buckingham.
How's the body feel?
Already. Got one more period of 30 minutes. I won't be playing much.
1-1. We go to the third period. It's 30 minutes long. Talk about your pattern for substitution going in.
Gonna sub every second point.
Ladies and gentlemen, the legend, John White.
In the interest of fairness. All to play for in this third and final period. Bill Buckingham, the master of ceremonies here, has been fantastic as the MC for a bunch of NSL events dating back to the 2024 season. It was underway March through June. Had the opportunity to interview Bill earlier this week on Squash University, my podcast. A little shameless plug. Squash University now streaming wherever you get your podcast. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, wherever it may be. And talk about characters. He's very buttoned up in these sort of situations when he puts on the suit and he's out here for emceeing events. The host of his own podcast in his own right, Squash Radio, alongside Connor O'Malley, an alumni of the Denison. Huge Red. And Wild Bill lets it fly on those podcast episodes. It's no holds barred. And it was no different when he came on Squash University with myself and Men's head coach Gilly Lane, my co-host, earlier this week. So go check that out if you have not already. Retired earlier this year, was the senior director at US Squash, had a huge role in running US Open and many of the other prominent events through US Squash that you fans have become accustomed to enjoying over the years. Very well connected man in the world of professional squash. Notoriously best friends with Mohammed El-Sharbaghi, their sauna/Uber buddies when they travel to various events on the PSA World Tour. Not a bad guy to be in your corner. You don't want to be on the bad side of a Mohammed El-Sharbaghi. If you're on his good side, then you're in good shape. But the Beast of Alexandria has little time for chicanery and shenanigans. Going to be Matthias Knudsen kicking things off here in this third period for the Young Guns. Cameron Pilley starting things off for the Legends. Talking about squash podcasting. one of the pioneers of squash podcasting, paving the way for individuals like myself, like Bill Buckingham. Cameron Pilley hosted an incredible show called Comments from the Couch, which of course started out with Pilley tweeting comments from the couch when he was injured, couldn't play PSA events. He would watch a lot of matches on Squash TV, and he would tweet out his live thoughts on various matches or events going on the PSA World Tour. And he would use the hashtag Comments from the Couch. This later led to a podcast with Bobby the Dazzle, Daryl Selby. And that podcast is no longer active, unfortunately, but I feel like perhaps it should be. Can we get a hashtag bring back Comments from the Couch going on Twitter? Can we get that trending worldwide, perhaps? Because I would love to hear some more good bants from the Aussie and the Englishman. Although maybe that's not in my best interest as a member of the squash podcasting community. It's a very cutthroat industry. My co-commentator Sean Choi would know all about that. Here we are jockeying for position early in period number 3, or numero tres, as Matthias would probably say. Like Matthew said, heading into this event, that Matthias has all the attacking prowess, but that he's incapable of hitting a straight drive. Well, Matthias, early on here in period number 3, showing the opposite, showing that he does have a little bit of an attritional side. Throwing in a little trickle boast there, and that's great touch on the forehand. I think that ball was probably too good for a let. Really questioning rather if it was good or down, I believe. Wasn't quite asking for a let. Ball was good, and that's a nice little slice. Backhand volley drop. Across the court, sending Knudsen the wrong way. All knotted up at 1 apiece here in period number 3. Knudsen, the backhand, a bit of an eyesore at times, but the ball does go where he wants it to on occasion. Perhaps missed some backhand lessons as a young lad. But he's made up for it with his thunderous attacking. Pilley stretching out into the backhand corner there. It's a tougher movement than it looks to retrieve that ball. Now finding himself in an attacking position here. Great line. That is a squeeze and a half, as Joey Barrington would likely describe it. Pilley out to a 4-1 lead here early in this third period. He is all over that trickle boast for Matthias. Oh, that's a really nice shot. That was a tight drop shot from Matthias. And that's great width from Pilley on the response. And once again, Pilley's right onto that ball, and he'll get a let out of that. It's a decent shot from Knudsen, but Pilley is springing onto the ball. There is the backhand top spin from Knudsen, and he just can't send Pilley the wrong way here. Pilley is looking springy here in this third period, and right on cue, little announcer's jinx. Order a taxi for Mr. Pilley, and he'll come off the court there. Can hardly contain his embarrassment. Right on cue, too. Oh, no. And as he hit him there. The apology issued from Knudsen a couple times. No response from Matthew. Like I said, these guys are locked in. They want to win here. Matthew, as classy as they come, but fired up here in this exhibition contest. There's an error from the Wolf. Knudsen wants to claw his way back into this thing. That top spin, usually effective for the Colombian, hasn't been working so far today. But does find a winner on the back end of that rally. Cuts the deficit to 1. Oh, that's tight. Off the half volley lift from Matthew. Maintaining that Legends lead. And off comes Matthew. Less than 6 minutes in of our second sub for the Legends. Young Guns yet to make their first substitution. In the third period, since it is an extra 10 minutes, teams are allotted an extra substitution, and Whitey with a major fist pimp on that stroke attempt. Matthias shriveled up like a platoon there, tried to show that he was not in the way. But that ball cracking out in the middle. Whitey fired up to get a stroke over his former apprentice at Drexel. And here comes Mr. Chotrani, first sub of the day for the Young Guns. Of the period, rather. That is nice.
2-minute power play.
Once again, it's the same thing we talked about earlier with Matthew, how that backhand drop shot fades into the left corner when you're hitting it on the tee versus when you're hitting it all the way up against the left sidewall. There's a little bit of nuance. That's a very mature shot for Veer to play, fading away from his opponent. Oh, that's a nice dig. Looks like Whitey's changed his racket here. Not sure how much that's helped him early on. Oh, no! What's happened there? I'm lost, folks. Can't help you with that one. I don't know what's going on here. There's a double. And Veer's going quick here. No huddle from Chotrani. And talk about weight of shot. Chef's kiss for the Great White. And we're halfway through this power play now. Uh-oh. Little leisure center boast action from the Rocket. Cheeky smile after that egregious racket slap out of the hand of Chotrani. And this is just pure chaos, folks. No substitutions allowed in the middle of a power play. So Whitey unable to sub off, nor is Chotrani should he elect to. And even though the Legends do have unlimited substitutions, not during the power play. And that is gorgeous from Veer. Tight as can be. And the Young Guns, just like that, snap your fingers and they're right back into this thing once again. I mean, Veer Chotrani is putting on a show here.
End of power play. We have a substitution. Big round of applause for Drexel and John White.
Wild Bill firing up the crowd here. We've got a match on our hands, folks. 21 32 remaining in the third period. The Legends, remember, still have their power play in their back pocket. Now, if you joined us for NSL action last season, you'll remember each team normally allotted 2 power plays, trying something a little bit different in this matchup. Instead of a, wow, another taxi for Piller. Pilley, I should say. Getting my pills mixed up. Oh my goodness.
11-12.
Completely caught me off guard there. Oh, and there's another leaping Nick on the forehand, but Pilley able to dig that one back. Really impressed with the movement of Cameron Pilley here today. Fresh legs. Doesn't look tired one bit. Exploding onto the ball. Got sent the wrong way a couple times, but who doesn't by Veer Chotrani? But other than that, he looks springy. Legs a little bit heavy there. Was a nice hold there from the front backhand corner from Veer, who extends the lead out to 3. We're all knotted up at a period apiece. This third period to decide the match.
And down, 12-14.
That ball hitting Veer. But unfortunate. Oh, that is gorgeous.
Substitution, Nick Matthew in for Campbell.
Legends were up early. So this is what we were talking about earlier. Instead of that 1-minute power play, each team still has a 2-minute power play. But instead of the 1-minute power play, each team gets to choose 1 point throughout the period in which, should they win it, they will be allotted 3 points. Now, if Veer wins this point, the Young Guns will only get 1. But if Matthew can win this point, it'll be 3 for the Legends. A huge point here in the middle of this third period, a turning point in the match potentially. And that ball just sneaking out. Once again, a rare shot above the outline for Matthew, who has one of the best lobs in PSA history. That time off the volley. And that is a gorgeous line from the man from Mumbai. Momentum swinging now in the Young Guns' favor. It's been a back and forth contest, and Veer has every trick in his bag that you could possibly imagine. We mentioned how mature his game is. Can play attritional, but when he needs to, has all attacking shots at his disposal. He is a very complete player. And like we said, we're currently ranked outside of the top 100 as John White checks on, but that is so misleading. Won a 6K just outside of Boston last week. And it's the 4th of what I think to be many more PSA titles to come for Chotrani. It's only a matter of time.
And now, sorry, 18-14.
That is tight once again. Such quality from the Indian here. Oh, little topspin flick. No luck there. Buries in the tin. Unforced Veer. Trying to put on a show. Trying to look good in this winning effort for the Young Guns. Third period, all to play for here. Legends took period number 2. The Young Guns got the Legends in period number 1.
2 minutes.
Here comes Cameron Pilley.
And now 17-20.
Pilley, maybe the freshest of all the legends, as these two jockeying for position now on this Legends power play. So after the next 90 seconds are over, the Legends are going to be out of power plays. They're going to be out of their 3-point rally opportunity. Oh, that is gorgeous from Pilley, who's got to go quick here. The Young Guns used their power play early, but they still have that 3-point rally in their back pocket. Oh, and that bow's cracking out in the middle. He initially sent Veer the wrong way, but I do think Veer was on top of that just enough to warrant a let. It's one of those situations where, yes, Veer did go the wrong way, but the quality wasn't quite high enough. Yes, let, probably safest call. And was that the man, the myth, the legend, Sam Lovejoy, watching on in the crowd? Folks, we love to see that. Sam Lovejoy of the Connecticut College Camels, brother of Spencer Lovejoy, and talk about great characters. You've got to mention Sam Lovejoy. Oh, and that's a gorgeous touch. And there's that Pilley power, but it doesn't pay off that time. Cracks into the middle, and Veer puts the ball away. That's a nice hold. Another opportunity at the front here. This is incredibly deceptive work from Pilley. But Veer has turned it around. Great defense from Chotrani. Oh my goodness, that's an outrageous shot! Buries it into the nick, fast-paced. We have a double sub. That was a heck of a rally. Here comes Spencer. Here comes Nick. We mentioned the trash talk between these two, but they do get on quite well in all seriousness, as we have passed the midway point of this third period, which is all knotted up. One apiece between the Legends and the Young Guns, all to play for here in period number 3. But Matthew welcomed Spencer for a week of training in his native Sheffield. Spencer stayed at his house, got to know the family, and when we talk about class acts, you'll find 2 on this screen right now. There's a stroke to Matthew, and we are all tied up here, under 14 to go. This exhibition coming on the heels of the NSL Finals a couple months ago from the Arlen Specter U.S. Squash Center. Matthias Knudsen, a member of the championship-winning New York City Knights, alongside NSL MVP Sebastian Beaumaye, Scotland's Rory Stewart, and America's Sam Sherrill. It's a fantastic event at the Specter Center. And there, Spencer finds the nick on the crossboard. A cheeky smile for Matthew. That was a big-time rally there, almost a minute long. And we'll see who's the fitter between the 44-year-old Matthew and the 26-year-old Lovejoy. Lovejoy, the former Yale Bulldog, former Skillman Award winner, and this time playing at Yale under the late great Dave Talbot. And
John White.
It's another winner. A lot of stare downs between Lovejoy and Matthew over the course of this matchup, and on comes Whitey in favor of Matthew. I don't know what was just flying over the camera there. I don't know what that is. Are those t-shirts? A little t-shirt action going on here. Who knows? But regardless, excellent squash here on display from K2 Squash. Lovejoy feathering in. This time a volley drop. Remember, we talked about how good he's been off the bounce, but sometimes he's feels a little tense and tight off the volley drop. That time, no issue for Lovejoy. Going short on the volley. Oh, once again, announcer's jink. That ball just clipping the top of the tin. On White, cutting that Young Guns lead down to 2. Oh, and that's outstanding touch, and that's a great dig from Spencer. Another one. Oh, that's great touch, and Spencer is doing a great job of playing defense and getting these balls back, and that's an outstanding rally from Lovejoy to withstand that onslaught of attack from the former world #1. Here comes Pilley. I mentioned the Knights won the 2024 NSL Championship. Who will win in 2025? We have new faces, new names coming to the NSL in 2025. Some very exciting ones. Some individuals with illustrious PSA careers, illustrious current and former rankings on the PSA World Tour that will be joining the NSL for the first time in 2025. So keep your eyes peeled for updates on social media. You can follow the NSL on Instagram at nsl.sport over on IG. And while you're here watching this Legends exhibition match here on YouTube, why don't you throw the National Squash League a little subscription? Can't hurt. On the quest for 1,000 subs. And never miss an NSL match, an NSL update. News, clips, excitement. Subscribe to the NSL on YouTube today. Really looking forward to next season. Some huge, huge names set to declare for the 2025 NSL draft coming up next March. So don't miss out on that. It's a great line from Spencer. Inside out backhand drive. Sends the lead out to 5 now. Pilley's got to anchor down here. The Young Guns could start running away with this thing as we're more than 2/3 done with this third period. All to play for here in period number 3. The Young Guns took the first. The Legends took the second. And now here in the third, the NSL All-Stars up 6 points on 3 of the greatest players our game has ever seen. The average age of the Young Guns, as Spencer makes an untimely error. Average age for the Young Guns, 24. Average age of this Legends team, 45.3 over a 20-year discrepancy. But the Legends still hanging tough until the bitter end. Here is quite possibly one of the 5 greatest players to ever step foot on a squash court, Nick Matthew, duking it out. 6 years post-retirement with the current world number 71, the U.S. number 5, the 26-year-old Spencer Lovejoy. An incredibly attritional rally that we're all paying witness to here. Matthew really hunting that volley. Spencer trying to lift the ball, keep it out of the reach of Matthew's long wingspan. And there's a 10 from Lovejoy. You can see the chest of both players expanding. They are both fighting their tails off. They want to win this thing badly. And yes, Spencer has been on for longer than Matthew, but the Wolf looks fit as can be. He does not feel out of place. He does not feel outmatched. At 44 years old, an incredible performance for the 3-time world champion. And that'll be a stroke to Lovejoy, who can sigh a breath of relief after giving up the last couple rallies. Young Guns lead back up to 5.
Substitution, John White for the Matthew.
John White coming back on for the Legends. So Spencer Lovejoy here on the court right now, one of 3 league co-founders for the National Squash League, as we know. Timmy Brownell, the other player working behind the scenes at the NSL. It's a great shot from Spencer, fading into the net. Ooh, it's going for a little half volley, top spin, push drop. Can't find it there.
Substitution. Cameron Pilley in for John White.
Quick shift for Whiting. Here comes Pilley. Back on for the Legends. Now you'd imagine it is effective to have the unlimited substitutions, but one has to wonder if the Legends subbing this much is actually helpful, because you would think that perhaps every time these guys are coming off, they get cold and it takes them maybe a minute or 2 to ease into things. So I wonder if that is the best strategy for the Legends. Although, surely it's physically brutal for these guys in their 40s, and John White's case, early 50s, to be out there with some of the most fit, most talented players in the world. Another quick shift, and now here's the final substitution for the Young Guns. Matthias Knudsen and Cameron Pilley. Matthias, as a junior player, trained with Pilley when he went to Denmark. Spent half a year working with Pilley, did Knudsen before heading to Drexel for his freshman year of college. Now here they are in the NSL. Timmy Brownell, as we were discussing, the co-founder of the NSL in Doha right now, preparing for the Qatar Open. Set to take on Mustafa Asal in the opening event, the opening round of that event this week. That's a great dig from Knudsen again. These are great gats. That's 3 in a row. Pilley maintaining control here. Oh, and that's just gorgeous stuff. And we talked about the hard hitting. The record holder for the hardest hit squash ball ever. Cam Pilley showing you exactly why. If this was professional wrestling, the you've still got it. Chance will be raining down, but it is pro squash, so that is not the case. We need more chance in squash. I think we need more cleverness. Bit of fortune there from Knudsen. Quick hands. Was just trying to put that ball back on the front wall and ends up finding a crack and takes an awkward bounce for Pilley. And the Young Guns, their lead back out to 6. And then the third co-founder of the NSL, lead commissioner Fernando Valdezan, not at this event either, back home in Louisville, working hard on a few behind-the-scenes new projects for the NSL's future. And it was just recently announced a couple of days ago that the NSL is actually going to have a home for gambling. And that's going to be getting things underway, I believe, in Tennessee with the first state and more to follow.
Three-point play for the Young Guns. This point is where
And here comes the three-point play. But huge news, and we want to give a shout out to our friends at Sharprank for helping us get squash gambling legalized for the first time ever, and it's going to be through the NSL, which is a huge announcement that I'm excited to bring to you guys as we're right back into this three-point play. So stay tuned once again to social media for all updates regarding that. And there's a dig from Knudsen. This is huge. It will be a really uphill climb for the Legends if Knudsen is able to take this rally and add 3 points onto that Young Gun score. There's the topspin backhand for Knudsen. It's been his most effective yet of the day, but Pilley barely able to scrape that back, and this is a rally and a half. Feathering the ball into the front right is Pilley. Wraps his racket around the Colombian and is awarded a stroke. The Legends stay alive with 2.5 minutes to play. Matthew springs onto the court. You'd have to imagine these are the two that'll close things out here. Only 4 points separating these two teams. 2.5 minutes to go. It's Knudsen. It's Matthew. It's past versus present. Will there be a passing of the torch, or will the Legends find a way to claw their way back into things? When you talk about clawing your way back, there's no one I'd rather have than the Wolf.
2 minutes left in the match. 2 minutes.
Matthew not going for anything crazy here. He's taking his time, as he should. The clock not enough of a factor at this point where he needs to be taking ridiculous shots. Matthew waving his arms at the referee. Not sure what the confusion was. And that ball cracking out in the middle. It should be a yes let call. It will be. Not sure if he was questioning if it was a double. Matthew right there to cut off the volley on the cross court from Knudsen. Deficit down to 3 with 75 seconds to play. It's tight from Matthias.
One minute left.
The lob from Matthew. Once again, we're all knotted up. And that's great width from Matthias. This is great quality from the Wolf. But will the Legends run out of time? This attritional squash is exactly what the Legends need. And Matthias capitalizes on perhaps a bit of a lapse in focus from the Colombian. Or from the Englishman, I should say. And pounces all over the Wolf. The lead back up to 3. 15 seconds to go. Matthew's got to go quick here. Going for the boast, and Matthew's got to hustle. Looks like he may run out of time.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, that's a flick. And Matthew. Oh, confusion! Down 1 were the Legends, and Matthew served it. And Matthew served it before the clock is expired. And we need to go to the VAR. Wild Bill, what's going on? Oh, no.
The Young Guns have graciously agreed to play one more point. This is the match for the Buckingham.
Are the Young Guns graciously agreeing to play one more point, or were the Legends almost shafted out of an opportunity to come back in this match? Down one, this will be the final point of regulation, and it will go to a sudden death point if Matthew's able to win this one. So Matthew needs 2 in a row, Matthias needs 1 of the next 2. Drama. And that's once again, we talked about the fading drop shot, Matthew taking up his space. It all comes down to this, a triple fist pin from the Wolf. And now he's silencing the crowd, bringing it back down. It all comes down to this. We're primed for a cinematic finish from K2 Squash. Matthew Knudsen, past, present, 1 point for all the marbles. Matthew with his signature. Now that he doesn't have to go fast, he's able to bounce the ball 20 times as he normally does. And he's got that look in his eyes. Knudsen's going for it! He's buried into the tin! Matthew channeling his inner Gregory Gaultier with a massive celebration. The Legends claw all the way back. You better believe that they've still got it. A great show of respect. Bill Buckingham looking awfully smart with those glasses. Don't be fooled, folks. And there will be a lot of discourse in the week to come over whether the Young Guns should have ended up taking that match. Had the clock expired before Matthew served the ball for the final point of regulation in the third. The Legends end up taking the third period. Things were all knotted up at 1 apiece. Everything was to play for in that final rally. Matthias Knudsen, a bit greedy, wanted to finish things in style. One of the best attacking players in the National Squash League cannot find the nick, but instead finds the tin, and the Legends prevail in a thrilling exhibition matchup. The GOAT Jahangir Khan watches on. Kama Khan looking awfully spiffy. Grown around dap-ups. And let's throw down my colleague, Wild Bill Buckingham, our master of ceremonies, too.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear a big round of applause for all our players. Cameron Pilley, John White, Nick Matthews, Matthias Knudsen, Spencer Lovejoy, and Veer Chautrani. And from the victorious Legends, a legend himself, winner of 35 PSA events, the Wolf, Nick Matthew. Nick, 35 wins on the PSA Tour, including many major championships. Where does this win over the Young Guns stack up in your career?
It's my best win for 6 years. You know, it was, I mean, I didn't realize it. You said 35 titles and the score was 35 all, so there you go. It was meant to be. No, I mean, we need to probably see the video replay, because I felt like I got the serve off. You know, it was close. You know, I think Matthias did what the crowd wanted and played an extra rally, so we need to applaud him, because I'm sure that's what... and yeah, like, everyone wanted it, and everyone wanted to see a last point, I think. So it's kind of, you know, it was such like amazing facility to come down and see everyone to play this match. We were all laughing before the match, saying we feel nervous, you know, and those nerves just kind of kept going the whole match. It's really kind of fun format, but it absolutely stresses everything. You know, you play, because we had the unlimited subs, that was great, but at the same time it made us kind of maybe start a little bit. We played 3 rallies and then we changed, and sometimes then your heart rate was kind of so elevated that because you were a bit nervous. And but what great fun, and fun to be back out on the glass court playing these up and coming guys.
Congratulations, Nick. The Young Guns you fell a little short. Matthias especially. A lot of Drexel alumni, a lot of Drexel players here. You got to play against your coach. Your coach told you this morning at the press conference, you're not going to beat him. You did not. How does it feel?
I don't know. Obviously, I'm a little sad, but I wouldn't say I lost to him. I lost to his team. You know, like, I'm never going to accept a loss against him. You know, he knows it, but nah, it was awesome to play. I'm extremely proud I got to play with these guys. Obviously, like, we grew up looking up to them, and it's an honor to share a court with them, but yeah, too bad we fell short, but next time we'll get them.
Spencer Lovejoy, the founder of the National Squash League. What does it mean to have an event like this with these legends, along with the legend, Jahangir Khan, at a National Squash League event?
No, I mean, it means everything to us. Obviously, myself, Veer, and Matthias, grew up watching you guys play. You know, you guys are a huge inspiration to all of us. You know, one of the reasons why we pick up the racket. So it's an honor to be on court with you guys. You know, also just amazing fun, like getting to play such a heated match against all three of you. So thank you for coming out. Cheers to that. And then, yeah, I mean, it's just great to have, you know, you guys play in the National Squash League as well. Hopefully you guys had a good time with the format. And, yeah, there's more to come. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Round 2 for Legends next year?
Thank you, Spencer. And now, a big round of applause for our gracious host at this beautiful K2 squash facility, Cameron Khan.
I'm just speechless. I didn't think or thought that it's going to turn out like this, and I would like to thank you, all of you, coming here and supporting my program and the NSL Legends match. And I really appreciate the Legends. They came down to the K2 squash, and I'm honored that you used my court. And thanks to the NSL Stars. I would also like to thank you to my family who supported me from the day one, stood behind me. Believed in me. It's all my mother praise, my father blessings with me, and there was few people behind me, you know. I would love to mention them, their names. Sunny Rao, the guy who was standing from day one behind me, believed in me and made this happen. And Nayak family, Lee family, I mean, I'm just speechless. I don't know what to say, sorry. I mean, I'd just like to thank you, everyone, and thanks to my cousin, Jahangir Khan, who came all the way from Pakistan here to support me. And to my older brother, Kaleem, and to my younger brother, Faraz, they all are here supporting me. Thank you so much, guys. And I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for attending, ladies and gentlemen. We look forward to seeing you again at an NSL squash match. Thank you very much, Philadelphia. Good night, and get home safely.
The Young Guns showed skill, they showed composure, they showed guts here today. Spencer Lovejoy, just fit as the day is long. Matthias Knudsen, marvelous attacking prowess. Veer Jotrani, just a stone-cold killer. These individuals, the future of the NSL, the future of professional squash. But a changing of the guard will have to wait for another day. Nick Matthew, John White, Cameron Pilley, the legends of our sport, victorious at the first ever NSL Legends exhibition match. It came down to the wire, and Nick Matthew beating Matthias Knudsen on the sudden death final point to close things out. For our wonderful production team at Home Team Live, for the National Squash League, for everyone who helped put this event and this production together, thank you so much, and thank you all for listening. For Jackson Bragman, for Sean Choi, for all of the friends of the NSL. So long, and we will see you guys in the not-too-distant future.
this can't be a one. We need to set because my camera's getting kicked around. Yeah. I need to. This needs to be 2 people, and that's it. We were handcuffed. We have a lot of shit going on. Yeah. We will make sure we have 2 people from now on. But I thank you for all the help.
Because I feel the same way doing what I have to do.
We just need the extra body. Yeah. And once we get that, we'll have it'll be like, you know, the Spectre Center every time. But thank you guys for hanging in there. I really appreciate it.
Sounds like